November 26th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from Tuesday, November 26th.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye. 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, we do not have a meeting
We have to vote.
Christmas Eve.
It's kind of you.
I bet everybody's. Do some caroling, but we thought,
We'll save that for later tonight.
after we start drinking.
That'd be the best time. Tom Stokes, sir, you're up first.
Okay,
Informal.
thank you, Ron. Thank you, members of the Conservation Commission. With me tonight is Rebecca Bent, who is the owner with her husband John of the back acres of our property.
Nice property
We sold
up there.
a
Ben?
few years ago. And at the time of the sale, we applied to you for two wetland permits. One was to put in the driveway,
Mhm.
the other was to put in the utility access. And before that initial permit expired, the driveway was put in by Scott McKnight. And one of the documents that Sally has with her is the document that is used for the wetland approval for both events. But for the utility access, the Bents ran into quite a little bit of difficulty of getting approval for the utility access, either through Kripalu, which was the original agreement, or through BCD, which would have been natural. To come in the driveway, they have a very long driveway and it crosses two large meadows that have conservation restrictions. And putting poles in that driveway would be very unsightly and just not consistent with the conservation efforts to keep these meadows looking wild and natural. And to put it underground would be very long and very expensive. We have explored all this. Initially, Kripalu, when the sale went through, there was a letter of agreement that they had the right of access. But we soon ran into problems with National Grid, who were saying, no, this is not going to work. It's too steep. We are not going to approve it. And then we tried to, well, if that doesn't work, maybe we can come through Berkshire Country Day School. That too ran into a bunch of difficulties. But then we asked Scott Pignatelli, who's with me here tonight, if he could help us out, and he's put in a lot of electrical facilities. And Scott has experience working with National Grid, which is very different from Mass Electric that we used to have, where it was sort of very neighborhood oriented.
Yeah, tell me about it.
National Grid is a national organization owned by British Petroleum, an international organization. And they go by the book a lot, and there's not much room for being innovative and smart, to be honest. But through Scott's good work and contacting people he knew at National Grid, we were finally able to get National Grid to say, okay, we'll do it. And it can come from one of the poles on the lower parking lot of Kripalu. We then had to, there was a new administration at Kripalu, and they said, yeah, this is a letter of this is an MOU that you can use it, but you really need to have a deeded right of way. So we got the deeded right of way through the Bent's persistence and legal help. And now we're finally, or the Bents and Scott are finally ready to put this through. The question that we have tonight is how much of the permitting process has to be done all over again? This is expensive. We've had two consultants work for us. They're both booked up to the here. You know, if I twist their arm hard enough, I think we can get them back. Particularly Mike Kulig with Berkshire Engineering, who prepared the original wetland report that Sally has a couple copies of. It's on 11 by 17, I think. That's the one I've left for you. Then there's
Right,
another that Teresa copied, which
there's this
is
little
2
one.
pages. But we can get you the larger version of it. But family really interested in preserving the natural beauty of their acres. They give land of and this meadow is along 183 and very good stewards, and they agree that they don't want poles going all the way from the pole. We're the conservation commission. But we're here of this permitting, do we have to start from scratch, and how much of it can be accepted by all the work that's been done today? Do you want to add anything more?
I think, excuse me, you stated the case very well. We've been working literally for years to try to get power to this building envelope that we were allowed to select out of a few choices because of the conservation easement. And basically have had our hands tied now for a long time. So we are really hopeful that we can get something done. Scott has said he could do it this winter, if we could move forward rather than wait for potentially another entire year, because I think you have a preference about the time of year too.
The summers are always super busy, but I think if we were to do it now, especially with the winter being as mild as it is, by the time that next spring or in summer came along, we might not even notice that we did anything.
Which is nice for the neighborhood. So
Is it a wetland? I mean, I'm not
It
familiar.
crosses a wetland. There are 2 wetlands in the property. The first one was across what's called Silver Run, which is a stream. And that driveway was put in. If we ran the poles from the 183, you would have to cross that same wetland again, which is actually larger. This other wetland, which is actually part of what's Shadow Brook, with the 2 converge before it hits the lake, is a smaller wetland. And as the plan that Sally has there, and I can show you a couple more copies of it, it crosses Shadow Brook, but it would go underneath. And Scott McKnight, who he did the other, he did the driveway with Kelly, would do the tunneling and the trench where it's required. It would tunnel quite deeply under the stream. And perhaps you can explain this a
Yeah.
little bit more.
The plan is, as Tom has explained, going in off of 183 to the point of where the house site would be is almost a mile.
wow.
We're able to cut that into a quarter with the permission of Crapallo, let me get my bearings here of where Crapallo is. Existing parking lot. So right there's a pole right there. They were going to place another pole right there. And we are going to go underground from this point to a handhole. And this is boring underneath the wetland, coming back up, natural digging, and digging back up to there, which is a total of about 1,500 feet. As opposed to going this way all the way out to 183, which is close to a mile.
And so would there be disturbance along that whole way or just where the poles are?
There'd be disturbance along the whole way, but only enough. Only if the trench will be a 2-foot trench, 2 foot wide by 3 feet deep.
How deep do you go with that
3
trench?
feet,
3 feet?
yeah,
Across the whole distance?
yeah. A little deeper in the areas. There are going to be 3 pole boxes that are approved by National Grid, and they're large and they're deep. So they need to go a little bit deeper in those areas, but the conduits will come into those. And they're basically pole boxes just to allow you to pull the wire in that distance to have relay stations.
And then this is built in the ground
Underneath,
underneath the
yes,
wetland.
yes, bored underneath.
Or underneath.
Yeah.
Now, is that deeper than 3 feet?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity.
Oh, yeah, they can direct where the depth and the direction, everything. Yeah,
So it's a directional bore under the
yes.
stream.
Underneath that section right there, it's directional bore. It's digging from there to there, directional bore to there, digging from there to there.
What are the approximate lengths of the sections?
I'm thinking, Ron, that it's, I don't have that in front of me right now. I'm sorry.
Is it about equal distance?
It's about equal distance, yeah.
So it comes
It's about 500
one
feet.
pole to another pole, then underground to the corner there, the pole box.
Yeah.
And then trenched from there to the,
Yes, to where the transformer will be placed.
and that's location number 1.
This is.
This little map has alternate locations.
Same map?
He's looking at.
Okay.
That's the map that we presented to you, for the original permit. Just to provide a little history to all this.
What
They
you're-
can't go.
Yeah,
but I
like this is.
Right? Or is that too far?
Yeah.
Well, I congratulate you for having managed to cow National Grid.
Oh, it's a process.
It cost us nearly $30,000 to put electricity to our house
Yeah,
along a road.
those costs, I know, and they're only gonna,
Ridiculous.
that's not going away. It's only gonna continue to go up.
So what you're asking us to approve it? Is that what
This
you're
is
saying?
already-
This is not a request for approval because we will have more documentation. But we want some guidance into just how much documentation we need. For instance, we need to redo the whole wetland designation.
When was it done?
It was done in, I think it was 2011, was it?
Sounds about right, but.
Yeah, the wetlands designation is supposed to be within 3 years. But if you have your same engineer, they can just really go and look at what they did before and
Yeah.
say,
Uh,
yeah, it's pretty
Actually,
close.
Mike Kulig looked at it recently. Scott McKnight took him there
Yeah.
to check it out, and he's not sure about it, but he's also booked up to here right now. But I think we can.
We would need some sort of
Update.
testimony from Mike saying that he had reviewed it and
Like I
that,
said, he's not sure
right,
that it's the same.
well,
It's
and
probably
saying,
wetter.
saying that he's reviewed it and
He looked at
whatever
over,
changes he
Yeah.
feels were necessary.
To do it.
and I actually
Not tomorrow.
talked with Mike a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Well, I'm not sure, Tom. There may have been some changes,
Yeah.
so just to be transparent here."
Thank you.
But now the question is, most of this is it's just poles, right? And they're above ground?
There's only one pole.
Right
One
there.
pole.
Yes.
Right
Yes.
Yeah,
For Paula.
right next to the pole that's already there.
Yes,
Rest is trenched.
yes.
Okay.
and boring.
No,
And
So it's
they bore
direct.
about halfward.
goes under the street.
Right, Scott?
Yes,
Third.
yes. I believe it's really cut up into three sections of about 500 to 600 feet between each section from the first pole that's set, the only pole that's set. There's a pole that's there. Within 20 feet of that is going to be another pole, a little bit down the hill. Right next to that,
On Kripalu.
on Kripalu property. Right next to that is a National Grid handhole that we pull the wire to. And then there's the next handhole is 500 to 600 feet. And the next handhole is 500 to 600 feet.
And
So-
between the second and the third is where it tunnels
Right,
underground
yes.
deeper.
What is currently above ground?
Do you have to
It's
cross under
meadow.
the parking lot at
It's
all?
No,
It's
So you're
mostly
on the
meadow, right?
South side of the, south or west side of the parking lot.
it's on the, yes, yeah. West side of
And
the
it's,
parking lot.
then it's down a bank,
It's down a bank.
kind of
Then
through
it
the
goes to
woods.
BC.
And down a bank, right through the woods. It's pretty level once you get in. It has, I mean, some grade, but it's,
Clearing trees when you go through the woods.
there's, it's not that really, there's not a lot of trees. There's a lot of brush,
There's shrubs.
shrubs, not shrubs, but kind of just
Yeah.
wild brush. And
But so that would be cleared.
it's only the area where we're working. Like I say, I would really, bet that by the fall of next year, by early fall, you would never even know. Even if we do it early enough, you would never even know that anything was done there other than seeing the handholds that are going to be sticking up of the ground about 4 inches.
So the meadow that you're going through, so if there are trees to be removed, we're gonna want to have those identified.
We're not really going through the meadow though.
There's a driveway at the edge of the.
It's the driveway.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's already been disturbed.
It's an old woods road that, used to be,
I don't remember. I don't,
it's an old road that connected Honeymoon Cottage to Brook Farm and was part of the original Shadowbrook estate.
is that where we tromped around in the swamp up there? Yeah.
I've tromped around there so much that I have walked this property with Rebecca many times, with Tom many times, and with Scott McKnight many times.
So now you can walk it with us too.
Yeah, I'll gladly do that. I'll gladly do that. It's, we have a pretty good idea of right where we're going.
You have any, well, you can put stakes in if you don't have them already.
We
So-
had stakes in.
Forgive me for what I'm hearing you, Ron and Sally and the rest of you, is that what you would likely want from Rebecca and Scott and me is a letter from Mike Kulig saying, I've walked this through and it's pretty much the same with the one little difference might be here or there and not necessarily have to do a whole new mapping of the wetland.
Well,
Is that correct?
I think we need to see it. I think we need to see it before
Yeah.
we decide anything. We need to do a site, I feel we need to do a site visit and see
Okay,
it before we
that's-
can make any.
I don't think we necessarily have to tromp down through the woods though to get to there.
You can access it through the road by Tom's house.
Yeah, there's the Bent's driveway.
And the other access to look down would be in Kripalu's parking lot.
Well, that'd be the one that we're going through, but then you're walking.
That's where the pole is, yeah.
Yeah, walking down. You can look at
You
it.
don't have to go from the pole to the
No,
driveway.
you may not want to walk down the,
I'm not,
no.
So we want to do a site visit.
yeah.
When you wanted to do this work this winter or soon?
Yeah, and, love to do it. We've been working on this now for how long, Tom?
I don't know, Scott, couple
Couple
of
years.
years now.
13 years.
Yeah,
And with Rebecca, for more than a lot longer. Or like a dozen.
it took time because we were trying to find the best, we were trying to really price out every avenue to get power back there. And coming through the meadow with poles, that was gonna be really ugly off of 183. It's gonna be really ugly.
and expensive.
Coming in, well, underground from through the meadow was gonna be through the roof because of the distance, because you're going through 3 meadows
And a wetland.
and a wetland. And then because we had to come out and come up to a pole to go over the bridge, then back down to underground again. So it was a very expensive deal that we looked at going through BCD. And that wasn't going to work with the power company because they didn't have enough. The National Grid's charge was going to be pretty high because they needed to change some of their infrastructure to get it to that point. They've already got the infrastructure to the back lot of the primary line that's currently running through there to that pole as a high line. So placing this new pole, they can run the line to that, set a transformer on that pole that would go to a meter on that pole. Then there would be another transformer up near the house site.
I have 2 more questions. This just says Interlaken Road. What, is there a number?
That's
183.
Oh, it's 49 Interlaken Road.
And then.
My house
how long
is
ago
51.
was the-
Pardon?
How long ago was it permitted by us? Was it
2011.
I'll look for the
It's a bit of
exact
a
date.
guess.
It may,
We might have to double
Okay, so
check.
that permit is not.
yeah,
That,
I would guess it was 2011, but,
so that permit has expired.
right.
It's not valid.
I don't see a lot of.
The driveway was put in just before the 5-year permit expired. I believe it was a 5-year original permit.
We would like to take a quick look at this. Probably from the Krippala. Is that the start or the end, or whichever way you're going?
We could, I mean, if you wanted to, we could look at both. We could start at Krippalo. If you wanted to park up there, you could see where we're gonna start from. Then we can get back in the cars, drive around, come up through Rebecca's driveway, and then walk over from there where you'll see
Okay,
that'd be easier than trekking down that hill.
We've done that. It's a steep trek,
Yeah.
but
all right. So we just have to find out when everybody's available.
I will make myself available anytime for all of you.
And my phone.
I don't know that you're free on Christmas Eve.
We asked for it.
Santa's cookies may need you.
so what I would suggest is we pick a time in January for the site visit. In the meantime, I'll be in touch with Mike Kulik to see if he can join us for the site
All
visit.
right, if we could do that before our first meeting in January, then we can discuss what we've seen
Okay,
and.
What I will do is go back this week and restake it.
Great.
So we're not having to look
Flags,
around
yeah.
in case it does snow between now and then. So we're not having to look around for stakes that are low.
Great.
That'd be great.
So I'll restake it.
How about the first Friday in January? That would be before our meeting.
The 3rd.
It'll be January
Third.
3rd, 2nd.
The 3rd.
All right with everyone?
What time?
I'm not gonna be available, but that, I'm away in first part of January, so.
What time?
Early afternoon?
Yeah. Still gets dark like at 3:30, so we
Yeah.
gotta be in and out by 2 at the latest.
Okay, 1:30? 1:30?
1:30?
And there's a reason you don't want
Where
to
do
do
you
that
want to meet?
sooner?
He wants to talk to Mike.
Oh, okay.
Where do you want to be?
1:30 Krippal.
If they're
Uh,
hoping to get out by 2.
The main one, first parking lot.
Yeah, if we're meeting at 1:30, you're not gonna get out of there by 2.
No,
Okay,
don't want to be there at 4 either, though.
great, yeah.
We'll be picking up like.
Yeah. A minute or
A
two.
minute,
Yeah.
Third.
maybe 10. So,
So 1:30 is
Yeah.
Krippala parking lot.
wait, do they have names? Because there's a lot of Krippala.
Yeah, for parking lot at Krippala?
One in the.
No, the lower, what I
The
can
lower.
do, I can meet everybody at the entrance to the lower parking lot.
Okay.
and you can follow me in.
Entrance to the lower.
Yes.
I will certainly be there. Rebecca, I believe, will be out of the country then, but so that's why she particularly wanted to be here tonight, to meet you all.
I'll meet you at the lower parking lot. We can drive up, see what the pole's gonna be placed. Get a view from there, then we can drive back around, go through your driveway.
We're not gonna try to drive all the way up to the house site. I don't think it's good.
I'm not sure that deep, well,
It's,
depending.
what you can do is, the driveway is in pretty good shape up to the edge of the field. Then we can walk that last 600 feet to the house site quite easily. It's the place it used to be the old Woods Road there.
Place to turn around up there.
Yeah, no problem turning around.
Yeah.
All right, sounds like a
We'll
plan.
get the sled and the mush dogs. to
Right.
place the direction.
That national grid.
They turned us down.
Yeah, of January.
Yeah, the expense. And across the.
And that's
14.
14.
And then the infrastructure.
Thank you, Jamie.
That price was. So this was a way that National Grid.
January 3rd.
Paid off.
At the site visit, yeah.
Right.
14.
Still not enough.
Oh, so that'll give us
Expensive install, but it's.
10 days to digest and.
We're doing a primary meeting.
Okay, so they're not reading.
All right,
Follows person.
Yeah, yeah.
They will be reading
want to keep those or
line,
take them with you, whatever.
line in case. there's
You can keep these
on
if
that
you like,
line, the
or,
primary.
take one or whatever.
I'll take one.
Oh, the one
Here,
you already have.
yeah.
If anybody wants to look
That's
at
the
it.
highest. It's, okay.
Yeah, we have two of these. We'll get a large.
Actually, one. Yeah. Yeah. That's because we're gonna dig from there.
Thanks, Ron.
Underneath.
Have a good holiday.
Have a good-
Great, good luck. Thank you. Sure, talking. Thank you.
All right,
Nice Scott.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
holiday.
Thanks a lot.
Lovely holiday.
Happy
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
all right.
So nothing from the Williamsville. Nothing on Messenger. Enforcement for 11 Wheatley, Matt Condon.
They-
Series of emails about the book.
All
Thought there were a series of emails about the messenger.
right, Matt,
Too, but.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I hear some other people down there too. All right. Can you hear
You're
me?
up. 11 Wheatley Drive.
Sure. So we've been asked by the owner and the owner's representative to prepare a stormwater permit application. We have started the process. It is not obviously ready or complete or submitted yet. You don't have an application in front of you. I can tell you we have looked into how much clearing has taken place over the past year or two. It is over an acre of clearing. That much I can confirm. I think it's close to about 1 1/3 acres.
Yeah.
I have relayed to the owner that we should try to come up with what I call a finished plan, meaning what is the proposed finished product there. There's obviously been activities. They're working on the house. They've upgraded the septic system and they've cleared a fair amount of trees. I stress to them that it'll be important to determine, what is going to be your finished landscaping essentially. What is the long-term plan? That I don't have an answer for yet. I think I'm going to recommend that they hire a landscape architect to help out. And I would I'll call it the engineering portion.
So is there active work being done without a stormwater plan? Is that what you just
It's
said?
gotta be.
There has been work going on at that property for well over a year.
Right, without a stormwater plan, so,
We issued an enforcement order in June
Okay.
for them to come to us with a plan. we have reached the end of our happiness by quite a lot. And we informed you all that we wanted to see the plan today.
I,
Or-
I can show you the plan that I've completed, but it is not a complete plan. It's not gonna,
Or
gonna show-
fines, we may start fining, we're getting really frustrated.
I mean, the period when most of the stormwater effects are going to be happening is when there's active work being done there. So
When it starts.
if there's active work being done, then there's stormwater pollution. That's why that's why you need to have a plan in place, and that's not happening. So I don't understand why it's taking so long.
When were
so
you, Matt, when were you brought in on this to finally come up with a plan? How long have you been had?
So about 2 years ago, I started a project down there for the septic system. I say 2 years ago, a year and a half, whatever it is.
Yeah.
This past summer, I was approached about doing a stormwater management plan. I'm gonna estimate it was sometime in August. And we are busy. It takes time. So that's where I'm at.
But the thing is that we have heard nothing from them.
And
I mean, there was an enforcement order as of June. And they have ignored us and ignored us and ignored us and ignored us. And they can't do that.
I understand that. I can't speak
And
for
it's,
them.
it's going to cost them money because it's not done. At least that's my opinion. I'm fed up with the whole thing.
so when you say time, I think we all are, but when you say it's going to take time, what does that mean?
I think I could have an application submitted to the commission in January.
And is there work being done as we speak? Are they still active?
I haven't been to the property in a couple of months. There is construction happening at the house. You know, I can't say if it's interior or exterior. There could be people hanging drywall and painting. I don't know. I don't know if there's exterior activities.
Was there a SWIP filed for this?
There was not. Not to the best of my knowledge. I've not been asked to do one.
How do we set a date for the fines to start, or? It's not gonna speed it up anymore.
No, but really, we're talking 6 months
Mhm.
since the enforcement order was sent out.
Why don't we say if it's not, if they don't have a plan,
We
our next meeting,
didn't have a plan by this meeting.
oh, we did.
Yeah.
Yes,
But that was made perfectly clear to them.
yes.
It's time to start
Fine them.
The fines.
I don't understand why we don't.
I was gonna say the day after the next meeting, but I didn't realize there was already two lines strong.
Starting today,
Yep.
and we could waive it if we could.
Starting today, and then it subsides as soon as the plan is received.
Mhm.
Okay,
Let your client know that there's gonna be fines levied.
accept the plan.
Yeah.
So as I understand it, the fines could be started tomorrow. And if I were
Yes.
if I were to submit a plan the following week, the fines stop.
Yes,
If it's accepted,
Yeah.
So who determines if it's an accepted plan? I mean, I
Well,
have to
we
submit a plan for approval, of course.
We don't have another meeting this month because the next meeting that we would typically have is Christmas Eve.
I mean,
So this was the reason why we put this meeting as being the deadline was because we knew we would not be having a meeting on the 24th,
Do you know when your meeting in January may be?
14th.
7 PM.
Matt, were you aware we needed a plan for this meeting?
No, I was not.
I sent you an email saying that you were to have the plan for this meeting.
I recall it to be present at the meeting. I don't recall it have a plan ready. I could be mistaken.
I'll take a look.
Was it a registered letter?
Here's an email. I'm not sure that I have here, but I can find it.
Give us a minute there, Matt.
Sure.
I mean, the enforcement order was, oh, it was June 21st, 2024.
That I understand. I do
Basic
see,
Upcoming meetings are the next 2 months is scheduled as follows: June 25th, July 9th, and July 23rd. And we heard nothing. So your homeowner is a scofflaw as far as I'm concerned. She has no interest in complying with the town's bylaws or anything else. I think she's missed her chance.
so I do see an email from you, Sally, about these quote, "These projects must be addressed and submitted by our 12/10 meeting, or fines will be levied at $100 a day under the town stormwater
And
bylaw."
it should start. And it should start. I mean, how long do you drag on and not enforce after telling somebody that you're going to enforce regulations, enforce a fine? A lot of people think nothing will ever happen. I hate to say it that way, but that's really, very few people think that anything is going to happen here.
I think it has to happen in this case. It's dragged out almost 6 months. And we've made it perfectly clear.
Or more.
That's our bylaw. Fines.
So the first violation is $100. Penalty on the second violation is $200. Penalty for the third and subsequent violation shall be $300. Each day or part thereof that such violation occurs or continues shall constitute a separate offense.
I think people have to be held accountable to these things. I really do.
So the fourth day is 400.
I think it's $100 a day.
I think we can set it. We can set it.
Do we need to make a motion?
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion that we impose the fines effective today.
Tomorrow.
I second it.
Tomorrow,
And they are payable to who?
the town.
If you should get your plan together and mail it to us and we receive it before, well, we still have to approve it though.
Well, if we receive a plan, I'm willing to stop the violations and we can
Right.
review it at the next meeting, because it's a month and I get that we don't meet in 2 weeks. So if you can get the plan in, we would
Suspend.
suspend the fines.
That's fair.
Should we put in exception if the plan is not acceptable, we renew, does the fees start again?
We can.
As long as it's reasonable. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's a
It has to be
reasonable plan.
reasonable.
Doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be, what we.
Directionally correct.
Our mandate is to be protecting Holy Pond and we want to see that happening.
And with the storm we got coming,
Yeah. Yep.
She's a big heart. She's doesn't want to be
we need to formally present this to them.
supposed to be.
To vote, but we didn't vote.
Why not?
All in favor?
We all in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Matt, any questions from our?
Nope, I totally understand your where you're coming from.
All right, I imagine you'll have a conversation with the owner at some point in time.
I will, or the representative. I don't know if on your end you have to formally send something to them to make it official.
We don't know if they ever get anything we send them.
No, yes, we do, because we sent it registered mail and it was signed for.
All right,
So,
we'll send registered mail again.
But I definitely will relay your findings.
So can you explain the second and third offense, how it keeps bouncing up? Does the second offense mean if this is not taken care of by the next meeting? Or does that mean if something different happens?
Yeah,
It's-
something daily.
It's usually daily.
Oh, it's daily.
All right, so it's $100 daily.
Yeah.
And then the second offense is something different, we get to the next meeting and still nothing's been done. It does, the current violation doesn't increase from 100 to 200 the next meeting, right?
So it keeps
Yep.
accruing 100.
It's a cruise.
100, 800, I'm saying the next meeting, 200.
You want to see the
200,
wording? Want to see the-
Please.
It's confusing.
Especially what constitutes a
So
second.
December 11th, fine start that day.
All right, so
Thank you.
we have some disagreement about where we stand with 21 Wheatley Drive. Their contention is that they have,
Submitted one?
well, they submit the stormwater plan at the time that this project was begun in 2018 was submitted to the planning board because the planning board oversaw the stormwater permit at that time. It has since gone to the Conservation Commission. There was a delay in the start of the project, and it was extended by the superseding order of conditions that were issued by DEP because we denied the project. We felt that the project as presented did not adequately protect Lily Pond. So I have read the minutes of the planning board, and it seemed like the planning board was a little iffy as to how the whole thing went. They had, after they had closed the meeting, they had real questions as to whether or not this was going to be protected, and enough members were persuaded that it would be, that they voted, but it was not unanimous.
But they voted, they approved it.
They approved it.
It did.
However, from our standpoint, I'm not sure that what planning board's mandate is and what our mandate is are the same thing. And the reason behind the stormwater bylaw, I was one of the people who helped to draft the stormwater bylaw. And its purpose was to fill the gap between what's required in the Wetlands Protection Act in terms of stormwater and what is likely to or possibly going to create stormwater runoff from an upland area that is not covered by the stormwater bylaw. I mean, by the Wetlands Protection Act. So I had some questions, Matt, and I don't know if you know the answers to these.
I'll do my best.
So there were a whole bunch of requirements under the superseding order.
Correct.
Was there a SWIP filed for that?
There has not been a SWIP yet because we haven't exceeded the 1 acre threshold.
Okay, the plans say that it will exceed the 1 acre threshold.
So we actually went back out and surveyed the work that's been completed, and it's under 1 acre.
Okay. So then it doesn't need a NIPD's filing.
That, to the best of my knowledge, is correct. If we exceed the 1 acre, it absolutely does.
Okay. So I had said in the notice of intent that it was going to go over the 1 acre. So I wasn't sure about that. And then our stormwater bylaw threshold is 10,000 square feet. In conjunction with our general performance standards that we currently have in place, we would now require some significant replanting, which was not necessarily something that the planning board would have required. Who receives the monitoring reports from the compliance monitor on this project, and who is the compliance monitor?
I would have to research that more. I don't know that answer right now. I believe
Okay.
the reports would be going to the DEP because they issued the superseding order.
Yeah,
Is
but
that-
who is we don't know who the designated compliance monitor is?
I actually believe it's from SK Design. I can't, it's not me for specifically, but I do believe it's someone from our office.
And have reports been submitted?
That I don't know.
Okay, and if so, can we get copies?
I'll have to confirm with my client.
And let me just ask, so you're asking under stormwater, not under the superseding?
No, this is under the superseding order. They are required under the superseding order to provide to DEP. They had to designate a compliance monitor. And that compliance monitor was required to be on site during any activity and report that if there are any violations and give regular reports.
You ask,
Can I ask Matt, why do you need to check with the owner versus checking with your company if we can have copies of those reports?
Because with all due respect, the owner of the property pays me. And I have to confirm what information he's willing to release.
Well, it has to go to DEP.
That's correct, yes, if it goes to
So we're
DEP,
just,
yes.
so we asked for the copies of the reports that go into DEP, assuming they are. But you're telling us that before you could send those to us, you'd have to get permission from your client?
Is my client or their attorney?
Okay, just trying to understand it.
I think we are entitled to those
that was my question.
under
Whether or not we
the
are.
Wetlands Protection Act and under the superseding order. The Conservation Commission is one of the monitors. All right, and who is the designated wetland scientist required to supervise the BVW replication? Has it commenced?
That I'm fairly confident, I can say with almost certainty. Brett Kaminsky from our office is our wetland scientist. The wetlands replication area was constructed earlier this year. So the wetlands replication area is in place. It has not been 2 years, which is a typical standard, but it is in place.
But was he there to oversee the
The wetlands plantings,
yeah,
absolutely. That I'm 99.9% confident in.
okay. And can we see those reports as well?
Same, I'll have to confirm. That one I don't see why not.
All right, so there were a number of conditions in the superseding order, particularly number 39, which had time limits. I'm not clear how those time limits could have been met since there was an extension and it wasn't started.
So I'm not sure what that specific time limit is, but the DEP has issued extension, has done site visits.
Okay. Okay. Well, it would be good to know all that information.
I had one more question. So the stormwater permit issued by the planning board was in December of 2018, right? So when did that 40,000 square foot clearing take place? Was that in December of 2018 or did that happen much later? Because this didn't get on our radar till relatively recently. So I don't know when that cutting happened. The one-
I can tell you the clearing of the house site
Yeah.
was most, I think it was this past summer.
Okay, so then my question is, and I don't know the answer, this is a real question. Does a stormwater permit from 6 years ago cover a cutting that happened now, this past summer? I don't know.
I don't know either.
So, but I think that's something I would want to know the answer to.
I've asked Jennifer if there's a limit, like we have a 3-year limit
Right.
before you have to have an extension. I don't know whether you have to file an extension with the planning board
On the
If-
original or get
if
a new one?
if the project hasn't begun in the time that it was permitted. If they have a 3-year limit, I talked to Gary Pitney.
Yeah.
he was not 100% sure whether they had a time limit or
Is there
not.
one now?
Don't know.
So we should have one. We should get one on the new, because I mean, it could be 100 years from now, somebody could cut if there's no limit, you know?
Can I provide a little bit of input in that regard?
Okay.
Yes, please.
So the superseding order of conditions mentions the stormwater bylaws of Stockbridge in the approved permit. And if I understand right, it's the opinion of the attorney working with us, Kate McCormick, that the superseding order of conditions covers the stormwater permit.
It absolutely does not.
Then I think that's obviously a matter of.
It actually says so in the superseding order that the wetlands protection, the DEP does not have jurisdiction over the town's bylaws. It says that very specifically.
And with all due respect, Kate McCormick told us many times that this did not exceed 10,000 square feet, and it really very clearly did.
I'm not aware of her saying it doesn't exceed 10,000 square feet.
In previous emails, she did. I would have to find the emails, but, because we've been going back and forth on this one for a long time.
You be able to find it?
We're not clear yet.
Whether, how long it extends.
Whether we're in. We have a thing yet.
Did you, commission get a copy of the letter that was, sent out by Kate McCormick?
Depends on
I'll say
which
about 1 to 2 weeks ago.
possibly.
It was emailed to Sally
Yeah.
twice.
Well, then we did.
Okay.
I'll have to find it, but somewhere in the superseding order, it says that they do not have, and I know this for a fact, even if it doesn't say so, that the DEP does not have any jurisdiction over the town bylaw.
That's the email from Kate McCormick.
Department has no jurisdiction to supersede the local bylaw. It's on page 9.
You need this? You want this?
Oh, now I read it. So page 9 of the superseding order of conditions. To the extent that the order is based on a municipal bylaw or ordinance and not on the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act or its regulations, the department has no jurisdiction to supersede the local bylaw order.
I'm taking notes.
Okay.
So if, in fact, there is, I don't know, it would certainly be a serious lapse in the writing of the bylaw if it has no limit.
So we may not be able to fix it from 6 years ago, but we should make sure it gets fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you, Matt.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll see you in January.
Anybody else have questions? Sorry, I shouldn't
No.
take over.
Anything else? Anything else? We good? Okay, Matt, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
You too. Thank you.
Told you I was on a roll.
Okay, where are we? 104 Interlake Road. They put the poles in.
Put the poles in? I don't know if they put the poles in yet.
Yeah, they were working there
They
yesterday.
were?
Yeah,
Okay.
or Friday, one day, I don't know.
Aren't you glad that wasn't you?
Yes. So again, this is 104 Interlaken Road. We have requested an order of condition for some additional site work on the property. Brad Mooney is here from Wagner Hodgson, who is the landscape architects for the project, and this is their plan. The reason for the amendment is, like I said, additional site work.
I'm sorry, Shannon, is it Wagner?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we have the lake here and nothing's changed with the house, the additions that we had, or the garage. Some of the bluestone patio, we'd like to extend over in this area off the screen porch. And then a set of stairs and some new walkways and a spa area here. And then some landscape walls. This is a larger landscape wall to level this out. And there's like a 7-foot grade change there from down here to get up to the stairs coming out of this addition. We've also eliminated the front entry, which was a covered entry porch. And then they would like to reconfigure the driveway a little bit to make it a little bit smoother, and some walkways with just some natural steps going through. This section of the driveway will be removed and these will be added. They've also developed the landscaping plan for the property, starting with the list that we had provided originally and added on to that, and that was included in the request. Maintaining pretty much the same areas and maintaining that 75% within 150 feet of the lake. So we have 100, 150, and 200.
Can you do that again? What's the,
100, 150, and 200. From the lake, and then we have buffer zones from the stream. They come this way.
what's the total loss of buffer in all these new configurations? How much buffer is being lost?
The additional, these are bluestone walkways. They are pervious. The driveway is gravel, but the new additional work is 818 square feet.
And how much buffer has been lost altogether in all of this? It's been quite a bit.
Well, within, I have just the LPOD, so within 100 feet, we were at 10%.
But that,
So just slightly over 10%. And most of this is pervious.
Explain on the left corner what that is again.
Over here?
There's a wall on both sides.
So you'll come down here, these are existing, the walkways and patio areas that are out there. And then this is an extension off of the new addition, and that's at the lower level. And then you'll walk up some stairs and around on the grass to, well, you'll walk up these stairs and then you're at the spa area. But this wall here is to level that off, and then it steps down. So here is at like, this was 101 to 99, and that was 98, and this was 103 here. So it steps down. So this wall is more underground to level that off. And then there's planting areas here that will help conceal that wall.
So is the spa area new?
Yes.
You're to this plan?
Yes.
And 10% of how much? And then you said with the LLP, what's what I'm asking is, how many square feet of buffer has been lost in this whole project? It just keeps getting bigger and
It
bigger.
does. How far is the spot? I don't have
If you don't have it now,
square footage.
if you can get it at some point.
Sure. And how far is the spa to the lake? She said that was new. This is new. That would be 50, so let's say 40 feet to the lake.
Okay, so our performance standards,
That's close.
yeah, and our performance standards say absolutely we don't like any new construction within 50 feet.
Yeah.
We just really don't.
Uh-huh.
So And that
wasn't a part of.
That one I would be very opposed to if that's 44 square feet from the lake.
Even though they're pervious
Yep.
walkways?
Yeah, it's still a law.
Not the walkway.
It's not nature. It's maybe pervious, but it's still a loss in terms of the function of the buffer. So anything within 50, I'm just one voice, but anything within 50,
I'm still trying to picture what this looks like.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got a big property here, so,
Can you help explain the spa area?
so the spa doesn't really need to be closer to the lake.
This is a blue,
Further.
can you hear us? Can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
All right. I'm trying to picture what this spa area looks like. There's a pool or some sort of water feature in there of some sort, I'm sure. And there's bluestone around it and a path to it. With walls that level the area. I'm guessing.
That comes off the building and runs basically parallel with the house. And then basically what you would do is walk up basically 3 feet in height to this mid-level area that has this, it's a portable spa, so it's just a spa that sits on the pervious paving, and then walk up another 4 feet basically to that upper area. So it transitions that what's basically the natural grade, but provides a walkway to do so.
So,
Why does it
But
have
it's
to be
40
there?
feet from the
yeah,
lake.
and in our performance standards, we say, in the judgment of the commission, any new structure or activity other than travel by foot or non-motorized vehicles or removal of invasive species within 50 feet of a bank of BVW is likely to alter it. No new activity or structure shall be allowed within the no disturbance area. So, I mean, as I said, to me, that's a hard no. This isn't something necessary. If you can move it back, you can find another place.
Could you move it to the north side?
Is there any flexibility with that, Rob?
Right now, you're on the east side. Pretty much. The north side would bring it back to outside of the 50-foot
Yeah,
distance.
That's a big piece of property. There certainly has to be some place they can relocate it.
that's possible. I think there's some flexibility. I mean, this sort of as a starting point was just in relation to some of the, basically how they'd use the house. So it was that was the starting point, I think, for the placement of the spa on that side.
If you've already got stairs to get up to it, you could add one more step and move that to we'll call it the north side, the left side. Just take that whole little spa area and bring it around. And you're outside of the 50-foot. And I don't know how close is on the other side. What's over there?
So the reconfiguration of the driveway, is it going to be shorter?
It's not going to be shorter. It's gonna be additional 259 square feet of gravel.
And that's part of the number you gave me already?
150.
Yes, the 818.
It seems like we're losing a lot, Shannon.
Yeah,
And this is the project, I believe, that we said no to things and then they changed it and then you've come back and we keep playing this, going back and forth. And
I think this is gonna be a no.
Well, since, they got the work on the house done, then they brought in the landscape architects to kind of, work on the site work. And that's where this has evolved from.
but it's just more and more buffer gets chipped away.
I think we're gonna give you a chance to let it evolve a little farther.
A little bit more evolution
With less loss and maybe moving things farther away.
and more mitigation. I mean, I think at this point,
You can still have a walkway on that side to get you,
and the house is,
yeah, from the door or whatever is in the back to the spa.
Sorry, here.
I don't see a lot of difference between just moving that back. I don't know if size wise we lose any or gain any. I'm still trying to picture what this whole thing looks like, but
There you go.
I'm not liking that it's on that side.
Okay. You have any questions?
I lost,
That's,
I think we really need to work on how we're going to offset what we're losing again.
Chuck brought this up.
And maybe lose a little less.
That too.
Yeah, it's buffer's important. And I think just going forward, really look at the performance standards. They're on the website. So we're clear about what is okay and what's not okay.
Okay, we will talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think just to be clear, we had I think the originally approved 75% basically the native planting and basically 19,800 square feet, and we've added to that. But I guess that's not as critical as some of those other items you mentioned.
Did you add those plantings in this drawing already? Is this drawing including that?
That's right. Yeah. So
Additions?
it's really sort of giving form, I think, to those planting areas, ABC, and so on, and really looking, at exactly how that would work with, the areas from the house and everything. And this represents an additional 2,000 square feet of planting.
Do you have the original drawing?
Yes, I do.
Maybe we need to have some comparisons done that are clear, a little clearer as to what we're losing and what we're gaining.
It still doesn't change that the spot is so close.
Yeah.
no, that's.
Yeah.
Wow.
These were the original planting areas.
We need to see them side by side.
Could we get, Shannon, could we get a drawing or a representation of, like an overlay of what the changes are?
Mhm.
That would,
And we have that. It's just-
that would be helpful.
Keep it
Yeah.
a little simpler.
Yeah, that would be helpful for us to understand it
So we
better.
can see what's lost and what's gained. Yeah, that would be very
Okay.
helpful.
But still an on the going to the 40 feet. At least that's what I think.
Shannon, what was the scale on the plan you flipped over? This one right here.
Yeah, this one here?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the same as this one. This was the one that was used for the screen porch. This is 1 inch equals 30.
So, okay.
Okay, well,
Right.
we hear you and we will be back.
See us next year.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Oh, where are we?
Thank
Like,
you.
Thank you.
Good night.
50 Lake Drive. Restoration of right of way. Anybody,
So we went and did the site
Yeah.
visit. A while ago.
Sanford's still there. So I submitted a notice of intent on behalf of the Lake Drive Association.
Mhm.
We have a right-of-way that's our northernmost right-of-way between Lake Drive and Stockbridge Bowl. And it has become increasingly difficult for residents to access and use for two reasons primarily. The plants along the walkway from the road to the bowl are crowding in and people can't carry their kayaks. And also there are plants right along the shore and the only access is through a very narrow. And so there was a informal or I'm not sure what you call it, a site visit. Some of you saw the site and suggested that we submit a notice of intent so the plan could be officially approved. What we are suggesting is that on either side of the path from the road to the lake, that 10 plants be removed. These are all invasives. 7 of them are honeysuckle, 1 is a barberry, and the other 2 are buckthorns. And we are suggesting that they be cut off at the ground. There no roots be disturbed, and then subsequent years, any subsequent growth would be also cut until the roots are not active anymore. At the shoreline, we are proposing that even though the right-of-way is 20 feet wide, that we would only request the plants from for a 12-foot stretch be removed, and we've identified them. And that there would be a gate, a 12-foot gate put there with at least a 6-inch space underneath for wildlife to get through. Some of the plants at the shoreline are invasive and some are not. But without that, we basically have trouble calling it a right of way to the pool. So that's what we're requesting and are interested in any kind of comments. Is the path itself getting wider? No. So, right, as we said in the notice of intent, the actual walkway itself is not getting wider. That's not the issue. It's the carrying of your kayak. I mean, there are trees there, and of course, under other circumstances, one could request it. Some of those trees removed. We're not requesting that. We're only requesting some of these. Well, they're invasives anyway, so it'd be nice to get rid of them so that people can carry their dinghy or their kayak down to the lake.
Were any of those trees poor condition?
There is an ash there that is it's not dead close to it. I wouldn't want it next to my house, but it's not my house, so
Is it on the right of way property or is it on the neighbor's?
I think it's on the right of way property, but you'd have to. Well, actually, the right of way is not not the Lake Drive Association land. It actually belongs to 50 Lake Drive. So we have been in touch with the owner and worked with him, and he it's.
My only
He's
thought
staying with
was,
us on this.
my only thought was that if it's a dead tree, now's the time to get it out of the way.
It's not the land of the Lake Drive Association, so.
I should probably recuse myself. I wasn't aware of this, but why do we want a gate? Why do you want a gate? Just even to have a gate?
There's a need for a gate there because the owners feel that without a gate, the geese that are quite plentiful in that area come and they have trouble even being able to, with children and so on, being able to use their little small lawn area.
without goose poop everywhere, so.
We talked about that at the site visit, and we thought a gate would be the wisest way to go.
Okay.
Rachel, I'm confused. Have the right of way, but the Lake Drive Association does not own the property.
Some of the stuff goes way back to
Yeah, I get it.
50s.
Yeah,
We had, yeah, exactly. Our lawyer looked at it like 4 years ago, and it appears to us that it actually is on the 50 Lake Drive property, but the Lake Drive Association has rights to it, and it defines it for picnicking, boating, swimming, all that, you know.
we have a letter from them saying that they agree to this.
I don't, but I can easily
We
get
would,
one.
The GIS though shows there is a right of way that it,
I know.
yeah, but I think we need to have, just to protect ourselves, I think we need to have a letter from them saying that they've seen the plans, they understand what you're doing, they understand it's within the right of way and that it's okay.
That I can easily get. I have been in communication with him.
Okay.
He was one of the abutters, so he obviously got,
Yeah, but I think we need that document.
okay, that's not a problem.
Because Mark Stimson had some questions about this. There was an intent, there was an email just recently, right? And one of them was kind of who owns the land.
Right, exactly. That's always something that we're concerned about because we don't want to be permitting on something on somebody else's
No, I
property.
understand, and I would be,
And we like to have that in the record,
right,
just to be sure that everybody understands
Okay.
what's going on.
I can easily get that.
I don't think we have any problem with this project.
Right.
Can I ask a quick question here, Ed?
Yeah.
Looking at your plan, it says plants to be cut down.
Right.
And so the gate's here.
That's
correct?
Or will be.
going to be removed.
And then it's gonna be, the cut down area is along the channel,
Correct.
correct? And you wanna take another section here and cut this all down
Right.
so that it's open. It's now something like 12 feet
It would be
wide.
12 feet, correct.
And you want to replace then the plants you took out with a fence,
With a gate.
a 12-foot gate?
Yeah, well, it'll probably be 2 6-foot
6, yeah.
pieces. We have a resident who has a dinghy that he uses to get it to his sailboat, that it's moored. And so if you have people on either side carrying it, that they would need that space to get it through.
And is there any work proposed for the dock?
That's a different issue.
Issue with the dock?
Yes.
I mean, it's only like 4 feet wide, isn't it? Am I correct?
The dock,
Yeah.
the dock is like 2 feet wide. It's,
2 feet wide, okay.
I have been in communication with the people who put the dock in. They are not Lake Drive Association members, but they have a right, they're deeded rights to this right of way. And that dock has been there for ages and
Pretty much non-functional, isn't it?
I wouldn't go on it.
I think we will.
Has the harbor master looked at this dock?
I've been in communication with him, and if it was determined that it is out of compliance definitively, he would take care of it. But, and it's not a lake, and we have no jurisdiction on the
Right.
lake, obviously. One option that I have been working on is there is a neighbor that is willing to put a nice dock in, permitted except, and perhaps give them rights to use that dock, and then we can,
Remove the other one.
exactly. So this is a process.
Right.
But I'm
But
thinking
at
if,
this point, we're not permitting the dock.
Not my dock, it's not our dock.
Ron, I just, so you're gonna walk down here and the 12-foot opening, I'm just trying to understand it. And you, on the far right hand, you've got a 2-foot or whatever it is
That's coming out.
that's gonna be dealt with. What do you do here, though? I mean, you just funnel, turn this way and go down?
Well, those plants are going to be gone.
Yeah,
And our hope is that there will be a nice dock there, let's say it's.
Pretty much,
You want a wide dock, you want a.
Joe, it's pretty much a straight shot from the last
It's a straight shot out.
I think, yeah, they're gonna go
20
straight
feet.
this
You
way.
have to ignore the
This
current
gate's
old dock
gonna
and
go-
the current gate, because that's going, both of those hopefully, well, the dock hopefully won't be there and will be replaced with something different. So it's just a straight shot so that people carrying their kayaks can go kayak or paddleboard or whatever.
I don't recall what was growing there, but it wasn't.
Here's
Right.
the picture if you want.
Right. We are proposing to replace some of the plants that we've removed, even though they're invasives along the walkway with native plants. Obviously, since the point of this whole project is to provide access to the bowl, we're not able or considering replacing plants at the shoreline itself. Because I don't know how to do that. So,
Joe, this drawing does not portray what's gonna. It's like, here's the water with the gate that's there, and then the drawing is at an angle.
Yep.
Actually, the drawing is just portrayed as is not square with the lake and.
Yeah, I'm looking at the way the dock.
Yeah, so this would be shifted.
that dock is not,
The dock is not.
Yeah, the dock is off to the right here.
the dock is cockeyed anyway, the way it sits now.
Yeah, it's right, it's all cocked over to the south.
Yeah, the dock is very cockeyed, it's just sort of stuck in the muck at the moment.
And half underground, and
Yeah.
half underwater.
What they're gonna do is direct out this way.
All right, so,
Opening.
that's waiting on
Because someone has a ding.
So I will get a letter,
letter from the
I will get a letter from the owner.
50 Lake Drive person.
Well, the representative, it's Generations Realty Trust, but
Right.
I'll get a letter for you.
Yeah.
And is there any determination about the dock, or can there be? So I can try to move forward.
That has to come from Gary.
He makes the request or he determines.
He determines.
He's the
He's the harbor master. And I can prod him.
And we both need to do that. Okay,
All right,
thank
so
you.
That's.
by next spring, you should be able to have a right away down to the,
That would be great. So
Water.
submit the letter and then we meet, then you just let me know your determination after you have the letter. I don't need, okay, perfect.
So I think what can happen is that if we get the letter by our January 14th, we just vote on it.
sure.
Okay,
Is that good?
that's great.
You?
Yeah, I mean, there's snow and everything now anyway.
Yeah, well, you get it cleared anyways, and then,
Well, they're all tagged, so we can,
Yeah.
whenever it gets approved.
all right.
My son's in town with his chainsaw, so the winter's a good time.
All right,
This is
all
your-
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
You too.
Okay, to sign jurisdictionals. I just signed those two.
That's all we need. That's it. We have to vote on canceling the December 4th meeting.
I move we cancel December.
Do we have a second?
Meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we're hiring Dave Cameron for DeSisto?
Yes, I would recommend we do
Oh,
that.
yes.
Yes.
So, all righty. So we're gonna
Did
say
they send us
Lisa and
this whole
Bill.
thing electronically?
No, they did not.
Chairs?
We got nothing,
No, the chair, only the chair of each got it. So Ron,
which
it's
is,
somewhere in your,
no, we got
Oh.
it, but that's not cool.
well, that's how we do it. The chair did it.
That's not how they should do it.
So we
No,
can,
I'm saying if they want us to look at it, then they have to come to us.
They
oh,
will.
they have to file with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
will,
this has gone
But
any
this
farther.
is just the plan, so everyone,
Yeah, this isn't the final, but so we can get, if I go to Teresa and ask her for 3 more pages, she'll give them to me.
pretty sure,
We're
yeah.
pretty sure.
Might take a few minutes to let the machine
Yeah.
run through this whole thing, but
Okay, because I would like a copy.
so you come back in an hour
Okay.
or two. And then if the machine jams, it might be
Then
3
it might be the
hours.
next day.
Or
electronically.
It protested when it started writing that.
Oh, did it
Printing
really?
that out.
Okay, so it'll probably protest it.
If you like this one right now, I think you could have look at it.
Well, no, Helen has it. And I think anyone that wants it should get one. And it's at the
And
select.
it's on
board.
the website, on the town website, a digital copy.
And I think there's a link to it in the Berkshire Edge article as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, you can.
So it's available.
I find it all, I read the Berkshire Edge and go right to them.
Okay, okay.
I spent some time looking at it.
I like.
Is this gonna make me crazy?
We'll discuss it later. Do we need to sign anything?
No, we do not.
We voted this December 24th meeting cancellation.
Yep.
Getting Springer deadline from Scenic Mountain Act. Joe, did you have any progress on the Scenic Mountain Act?
Yeah, it's sitting in the room down there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
I didn't go in the room.
Oh, it's in the office?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
it's a big one. It's mounted.
Oh, great.
Sal, you saw it, didn't you?
I did.
You,
Very cool.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Yes, Joe, thank you.
I got a little.
well, thank you.
Hey.
Did it right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so, takes 6 months.
There you go. Or cookies.
No way, it was up like.
Yeah, it's pretty, it's, we could set it in a corner for now, but,
Great.
whatever you want to do with it.
Well, I
I
think
think it's a,
figure out where we're gonna be eventually. I don't know that we know. I think we're gonna be in there.
you might.
And I cleared out the big desk in there the other day. so.
It's I think it might be, it would serve, the planning board when they needed that, town
Zoning,
manager,
zoning and
the building inspector.
everybody, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Any other business?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.